Springfield Police Chief Kenny Winslow is retiring. It is the WMAY morning news feed. I'm Greg Bishop at 7:52. Now we connect with the police chief. Chief Winslow, thanks for taking time with us this morning. I know you chatted with Jim last night, but it's always good to hear even more about the decision you made here. So thanks again for taking time with us this morning. Thanks for the incredible length of service you've had for the city of Springfield. I saw in the paper you've been there 27 years. That's quite a long time to be a police officer, Chief.
No, thanks, Greg. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I just started my 28th year, the first of the year, and I think everybody's made it crystal clear that, the end was coming. We just kind of know when it's your time, and, I'm happy and to have the privilege to work with everybody. I'm humbled to have been able to serve for 27 years and almost 9 years as chief of police. It's been an honor to work along everyday heroes, the men and women who always go above and beyond selflessly, always step up, always do more with less, and it's just been an honor to watch them work and be able to serve with them for years, and it's just privilege.
So, Chief, what are the plans? Are you eyeing post-retirement employment somewhere? Are you going to kick back with a few cocktails on a beach somewhere? What's the plans for you in the future?
Well, I have young kids. I still want to work. I've made that crystal clear. I still would like to be involved in law enforcement at some point in time. I don't have any full-time plans out there right now. I do have some part-time options I'm considering. I want to be tied to law enforcement. This is the profession I'm passionate about. It's the profession I love. A lot of men and women right now, when they're done, they're like, I don't want to wear a uniform again. I don't want to be involved again. I just want to step away and just, de-stress and relax. And honestly, I got a 7-year-old. I got a 12-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 19-year-old. I got a lot of college to pay for, a lot of things in life going on. Plus, I'm young. I know me that at 51, I would be bored out of my mind sitting around doing nothing. So, yeah, I do want to work, and I am going to pursue some of those options that are tied to law enforcement, whether that's, being involved maybe in the legislative side of it, maybe being involved as a chief somewhere, or even teaching or something. I'd like to be involved in law enforcement.
Chief, we've got a few minutes here. I'd love to hear some of your reflections on your past few decades of service in this community, and in particular, I'd love to hear about what some of the greatest accomplishments were and what some of the looming challenges are that remain. So let's start with those greatest accomplishments. What's on the plate there for you to uphold as some of your crown achievements?
Well, I think I've had a great team throughout my career around me, great people to work with, and we've accomplished a lot, and to say a greatest one, that's hard. I would say that, bringing the department into the 21st century with technology, being the first major department in the state to go to body cameras, look at the technology we've embraced, with the ShotSpotter, the LPR technology, the 3D cameras, the crime scene stuff. The technology just really came along. We were pen and paper when I became chief, and so being able to do in-car reports. The wellness program for the officers to address their mental health, their financial health, their marital health, their spiritual health, giving them options. We all know about officer suicide rates around the country, how they're looking, and having those resources available to our men and women is a huge accomplishment. Diversifying the police department. When I became police chief, there was very little diversity in our department, and that was one of the major tasks, and I think over 35% of my hires have been minority and females, and being better rounded. There's just been a ton of stuff. Our community outreach, our engagement, our community policing is second to none in the state, if not in the Midwest. So there's a ton of things I'm proud of that we've done, but I didn't do it. It's the men and women who did it. It's the teams that were with me and around me that did it. It was working together that did it, So the council members' support, the community support, the mayor's support, it's all of us working together. Some of the biggest challenges, obviously, right now is rebuilding the ranks. We went through the hiring freeze due to the pandemic. And with that said, that was one of the huge things. We didn't hire 17 people. That led to the fact of not hiring another 10 that January. And it's one of those things that we still face those challenges today. Right now I have 34 openings, and I have 29 people in the training program as we speak. So rebuilding the ranks is the number one priority. The men and women have sacrificed. They've changed schedules. They work hard. Getting it back to where full strength, where we can do some of the things that we are still doing, just not as well.
Police Chief Kenny Winslow with us on the WMAY morning news feed. He is set to retire later on this month, talking about some of the accomplishments, some of the challenges that remain. Chief, what's your message to the public out there? We've seen, of course, in the past few years, some negative sentiments towards police. However, here locally, when we had in other cities some buildings on fire and riots and such, we didn't have that here in Springfield. So what's your message to the public as somebody who's been in law enforcement all of these years and has seen the ebbs and flows in public sentiment?
Yeah, Greg, when I came on right after the Rodney King incidents, and I remember hearing some of the old-timers talk about how it was time to step out the doors and move on, that the community didn't support people. And those things ebb and flow. The pendulum swings both ways. Just like I tell people, we have to evolve as a profession. We have to evolve as a career. Things change, and we have to change with them. And that's what it's about, And I believe that the community of Springfield and even Second County truly support law enforcement. That's been my experience with it. There's always going to be a criminal element that does not support law enforcement. We have to explain why we do things, how we do things, and that's the biggest thing. And being transparent, that's the big thing about the body cameras. Is, people come in, here we go, let's sit down, let's look at it, let's go through it. I always say that if we mess up, we fess up, we take corrective action, we discipline when appropriate, and then you move forward. That's all you can do. But it's about being out there trying to provide a professional service. The citizens of Springfield, they support law enforcement, but they want fair and impartial constitutional policing, and that's what we strive to do. Do we always get it right? No, sometimes we mess up. But again, you just have to move on. As far as the country, we've all seen what's out there. Again, it ebbs and flows. I try to tell the officers, try not to internalize it. Think about local, think about here, think about the support that you have here, internally and externally outside the department. And it don't always feel that way. Social media, good and bad, we all know that from just your private life, and the same way in the professional life. People put out misinformation constantly.
Yes,
they
they
often
do.
just for that reason. Sometimes it's embedded in a little bit of truth, and then it gets blown out. It's like a game of telephone, and it's totally false. And people will say things on social media that they wouldn't say to your face.
Well, Chief,
that they don't
we're
100%
plumb out of time. Greatly appreciate you, the 27 plus years of service, and here's to a good retirement. And I imagine we'll talk more about law enforcement in the future. All right, be safe out there.
Thanks, Greg. Have a good one, brother.
It's now 8:00. Hero of the week.